guys, thank you for watching and subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like my videos, then my YouTube channel, Sarcoidosis Real, go to it, subscribe to it, view my videos, like them, share them, comment any questions I'll try and answer for you. So if you watched my last video, you'll saw me raving or speaking highly of a doctor, Dr. Ramsey. He's one of my doctors, he's my pulmonary doctor, and what a doctor he really is. It goes above and beyond, I think, his call of duty and some of the things he does. And about a week and a half ago now, I was describing how I was feeling, and he took my driving licence off me. And not only my car licence but my HGV licence, and I drive a car transporter, and I need my HGV licence. So what he said to me is he will get back to me in the week. So this was on the Thursday. He promised me he would get back to me the following week, and true to his word, he phoned me up the following week and he spent half an hour on the phone to me. He'd been on the phone to the Royal Brompton Hospital, which the team of doctors there oversee my treatment for sarcoidosis, and he explained what they were going to do, how they were going to treat it. But what he said is, because I'm due to go to on holiday to Turkey tomorrow, he said to me, go on holiday, enjoy your week, come back, and we will start you on your new drugs, which I think they're going to start me on mycophenolate. And try and taper me off the prednisolone, because the prednisolone really I'm not getting on with. It's causing more side effects than what the sarcoidosis brings on in itself. But obviously, like the doctors have said, I need the sarcoidosis to I need the prednisolone to treat the sarcoidosis. It's just one of those things that they've got to try and find the happy balance. But anyway, Dr. Ramsey, if you ever watch my videos, you know, you're a top doctor. Thank you very much. So I saw a comment on Facebook on one of the sarcoidosis pages, and I thought I'd touch on this because I suppose a lot of people, they think or they wonder how they caught it, where they got it from, did they do anything wrong? You know, no one knows. No, not even the doctors know what causes sarcoidosis. But let's dig into this for a little bit. So there was a comment or a post I read, and it was about a soldier who served in Iraq in 2004, and he was exposed to toxic burn pits, and he thinks that perhaps this could be a source or a trigger of where sarcoidosis came about in him. And one of his questions is, does anybody else know or think they know the origin or how they came about sarcoidosis or what? So I thought I'd touch on that, because I've thought long and hard about where you can't catch it, but how it came about that I got sarcoidosis. So let's take you back to when I first got diagnosed in 2011. So there's a few events that that stick in my mind that I've often wondered were perhaps a trigger. So in 2010, I used to work as an HGV truck mechanic and tow truck driver. So while I was working, you'd often be down the pits working on the lorries. You know, you've got fumes, you've got particles. You know, doctors say about particles, biological or chemical or things like that could trigger it. Well, it's in the nature of the job. You're down the pit, you know, your exhaust fumes, you know, your brake cleaners and chemicals that you're spraying and you're using. I've often wondered to myself whether that, in that environment, you know, breathing in all the particles there was perhaps a trigger to it. But I'll tell you, the first time I ever felt affected, and it's what led to me to go to the doctors, and I don't normally go to the doctors, or up until then I never did, so this was a big thing for me. So what happened is in 2011, in about May 2011, I went on holiday to Turkey. So with the kids, you know, they get your old dad to go down and play football. So me not being the fittest dad, decided I'd play and goal. Well, I did alright, you know, I didn't show my kids up, but I went to save a goal, and as I went to save it, another player kicked the ball into my chest. And what happened was, it took my breath away. I couldn't move it, like I had a trapped nerve all over my torso. That affected me for a good week of a 2-week holiday. I was struggling to move, struggling to sit up, struggling to walk around. Every time I breathed, it was like a trapped nerve. But anyway, towards the end of the holiday, I got better. I thought nothing about that, you know, just one of those things. So I got back from holiday. My first day back at work, I had, because I used to drive a recovery truck, I had a lorry, articulated lorry, 44 tonne, gone down a ditch, through a hedge, right away into a field. And I had to go and recover it. Me and my boss, we went down to recover it. And this is the first time I ever felt affected, because where the lorry was so heavy and we tried to winch it or pull it backwards out the field, it was acting as a plough, and a lot of mud, it got caught up underneath the lorry because it acted as a plough. We had to dig all the muck, dig all the earth from under the lorry so we could carry on recovering it. And it was at that point there that I realised something was wrong, because I could not shovel muck. I thought I couldn't breathe. I thought I was having an asthma attack. My heart was beating out of its chest. Oh, what's going on here? Thankfully, my poor old boss, he did all the shoveling. Good old boy that he was. Top bloke. So anyway, after that, got the lorry recovered, job done. And another job I had a job in the yard the following day, and I could hardly hold a drill above my hand. I was weak, you know, I couldn't, I was really struggling. I went to the doctors, he did some blood tests, sent me to the specialist at the hospital, and within like a month I was diagnosed with this sarcoidosis. So, I think in my second video, I think I touched on how you can catch it or where it comes from, and the answer was, you know, scientists, they think it's biological or chemical particles. I even touched upon trauma or stress, and I mentioned a situation of trauma where someone was in a car accident and they went to hospital, severe trauma, and they discovered sarcoidosis. Now, whether the sarcoidosis was discovered as a side, not anything to do with the accident, they just stumbled across it, whatever, I don't know. But it brings me back to in Turkey a week before, when I had the trauma. You know, when I got kicked in the stomach, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't walk for a week. It took me a week to recover. Whether that had anything to do with it or not, because I've never taken a hit like that in my life. So whether it had anything to do with that, or whether it had anything to do with being around the different particles, you know, if you're changing the clutch, you can't get out of, you know, you're going to have the clutch dust flowing about, the brake dust, you're going to have the particles, the exhaust fumes. It's just the nature of the job, which in hindsight, if I could have changed, yeah, you know, looking back, if I could something I could change to try and avoid this, that's one of the things that I would change. Also, regularly, you know, you'd go into work at 7 o'clock in the morning, you'd work till 6 o'clock at night. But you're in the industry where if a lorry driver breaks down, you can't stay at the side of the motorway till the morning. You've got to go and fix his lorry for him. So quite regularly, I'd start work at 7 o'clock in the morning, work till 6 o'clock. I'd be out all night long fixing lorries roadside till 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd work all the way through till 6 o'clock at night. You're talking 36 hours awake working. That certainly is no good for you. You know, this puts a lot of stress on your body. Whether that had anything to do with it, whether it did, I don't know. But another thing, I'm very strict on what I eat now. I try to be very strict. I try to eat a very healthy meal, home cooked meals. You know, meat and 2 veg. Try not to eat so many carbs, because the carbs is at the moment is what's playing about with my sugar level. I have to be careful with the carbs that I eat. But I, to put it bluntly, used to eat like a pig. So you know, for 10 o'clock in the morning as a breakfast snack, I'd have half of a French stick or a baguette filled with sausages and bacon and eggs and mushrooms, all fried food. You know, you do that every day, and then lunchtime you pig out on something else. And every Friday the boss would go put his hand in his pocket and send the apprentice down the chip shop. We'd all have fish and chips. You know, you had 3 or 4 takeaways a week, because he was working such long hours. When you got home, the last thing you felt, you were so tired you wanted to cook, you'd order a takeaway, Chinese, Indian, kebab, you name it. I just ate like crap. You know, come to the Christmas parties, you know, best Christmas parties I've ever had. It's because food was involved. You know, we went on a Christmas party to a local Chinese restaurant, and the boss said, just fill the table up, bring the food out. You know, there was maybe 20 of us sat around this table, and we just ate like kings. And happiest Christmas party I've ever been to. But you know, was my unhealthy lifestyle anything to do with it? Because my lifestyle and the way I lived it, you know, back sort of 5 or 8 years ago, was far from healthy. You know, the long hours I used to do, you know, you used to find yourself eating to try and fuel yourself to stay awake. You know, yeah, that's my experience of, you know, did that trigger it? Did my unhealthy lifestyle trigger it? Did my work environment trigger it? Did anything that happened during the football match in Turkey trigger it? They're the 3 things that if I could change and I would go back, I wouldn't have played that football match. Perhaps I wouldn't have, or I'd have been more careful working around the lorries and the chemicals and the particles that that were floating about at the time. And yeah, maybe I wouldn't have put my body through such stress trying to work 36 hours a day, 2 or 3 times a week, you know. But yeah, that's they're the three places that I think that if I was to go back, I'd avoid, I'd change. Whether it would affect whether I've got sarcoidosis now or not, I don't know. But another thing that I think's kind of interesting regarding you know, exposure to different particles and different, I keep saying particles because this is quite a common thing that scientists and doctors believe, that particles of biological or chemical are involved in people that have sarcoidosis. So the 9/11, the Twin Towers, when the disaster happened, a lot of the first attenders you'll find now, a lot of them are suffering from sarcoidosis now, which they never had before, and they were certainly involved and around a very dusty, poor environment, you know. Whether that's got anything to do with it, I would say they're on the right track, the doctors, when they say about the particles and exposure to certain things, which perhaps is why I think that in my job the exposure to various particles, various chemicals, you know, maybe that was to do with why I have sarcoidosis. I don't know, but yeah, that was just one story I wanted to touch on. It, you know, it kind of something that I was thinking for a long time, and the questions on Facebook, they just it just goaded me to give you a response. You know, my opinion, and give you my story of where I believe. I wouldn't say what gave me sarcoidosis, because you can't tell what gave you sarcoidosis. You know, some people, there's lots of people that work in the same environments and do the same things that I did, that haven't got sarcoidosis. But, you know, perhaps there's something in it, perhaps there isn't. But yeah, guys, let me know. Put a comment below. let me know your stories. Don't have to do a video like I do, but just comment below, and let's see. Perhaps if you if it was something to do with your lifestyle or environment that you worked in, or you know, give us a clue. Be interesting. But guys, thank you for watching my videos. If you do enjoy them, like them, subscribe them. In the bottom corner of this video, under the video is a subscribe button. Hit subscribe. Share the life out of these videos, because I do enjoy some of the questions that I get from you people. It's interesting, you know. One of the things that that I like about the two Facebook groups, the forums that I'm a member of, I'll give you an example. So I'm having problems with my eyes at the moment. Sometimes they go blurry. My vision in my eyes are itchy. My vision's blurry. I can read the letters. You know, in the opticians you have the big board of letters. I can read all the letters right from top to bottom, but the letter at the top in big, the big A, is blurred, as well as the letters at the bottom. And the optician, when they'd finished, they checked my eyes, they did pressure check on my eyeballs, and they tell me there's nothing wrong. And it's the most frustrating thing, because I'm not making it up. And I saw a comment on the Sarcoidosis Facebook page of someone saying, does anyone else have this problem? My eyes are blurry. They feel like they're swollen, they're just not right, they're itchy, you know? And that's the same problem that I get, and it's probably the same problem that a hell of a lot of people get. Maybe it's to do with the sarcoidosis, maybe it's to do with the drugs, I don't know. But it's nice to know, it's reassuring to know that other people are going through the same thing that I'm going through. That, you know, you tell the doctor and they don't know the answer, so they just, okay, see you in 6 weeks, let's see how you feel. You know, that's the frustrating thing. It's nice to know that there's people out there going through what you're going through. So yeah, if you like my videos, like and subscribe. I'm going to Turkey in the morning, so I've got an early flight. Doctor has let me fly to Turkey because he wasn't going to. He wasn't sure I could fly, and he spoke to the Royal Brompton team. They said I could fly. He phoned me up. He said, "Yep, go on holiday for a week." So crack on. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to Turkey tomorrow. Adios, people. Share and subscribe. Thanks.